Fashion guru Nobbins is here, and I'm going to be ranking every single Premier League home kit for the upcoming 2021-2022 season. And just look at my credentials. I don't need to show you my credentials because just look at them. Look at the salmon pink shirt, it's beautiful. Look at the shades, look at the hairstyle. I'm the king of aesthetics, and I'm going to demonstrate that by creating an accurate ranking of the home Premier League kits for next season. I'm going to be ranking the kits from worst to best, and then in a future video I'll be ranking the away kits, and we'll do the reverse order there for that future video. We'll go from the best to the worst, but right now we're talking about the home kits. Do make sure to comment what your favourite and least favourite kits are as we go through the video, but let's start with the worst kit for the upcoming Premier League season, and by default it has to be Crystal Palace's home kit because the date today is the 3rd of August 2021 and Palace has yet to release its home kit, so I can't rank it, so therefore by default it has to be in last place. I'm sorry about that, but you haven't given me a kit to rank, so I don't know what you want from me. Right, so quite frustratingly, following the recording of this video, I did record this a while ago, Crystal Palace has released its new home kit for the 2021 season, and my word, it is a beautiful, beautiful kit. I'm actually going to rank it as my second favourite kit on this list, so do just bear in mind from now on that every single ranking is actually one less than the quoted ranking up until first place. But just look at this kit, it's absolutely gorgeous. The way the Puma is gold, the advertising itself is also gold, doesn't take away from the kit. The stripes are perfect, the collar is sensational. It's just a really striking, gorgeous kit, and I'm really disappointed they didn't release it in time. So, it's still not really my fault, Crystal Palace, and really, you should still really finish in last place because of your lateness of delivery of the kit, but there we go, guys, just an FYI, this kit is gorgeous and it is my second favourite kit. So coming in 19th place and technically last place in terms of the actual kits they have to rank, and it's Newcastle United's home kit. This is a truly horrendous kit. I don't understand what is going on here. I don't understand what's going on with the sponsor. It looks genuinely appalling. There aren't enough stripes going on for me. I think the collar is all wrong. I despise the I believe it's Chinese font and sponsor on the front cover. It just looks messy. The advertising for the shirt is a new start, a new shirt, a new better. If you want a proper new start, put that shirt in the bin, because if your league position is going to be anything like the kit, you are going to get relegated, my mate. And I hate just going back to the collar, the fact it's all tied up, all buttoned up on the actual models that are modelling it. I imagine that's how it would be in the actual on the actual pitch as well. It just looks messy. It doesn't look like, I don't even know what it looks like. It's just awful. There's nothing right about this kit, but everything wrong. The ownership of the club is representative of the shirt. Awful, horrid, rock bottom of this table. Do better, Newcastle. And on a similar vein, 18th place, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, hugely disappointed I was with Wolves' kit for this season because I adore the orange. I don't know what it is, but I love the orange of the Wolves kit. I think it's really different. I think it's quite unique, and I'm always a fan of the Wolves kit in general. Last season's kit, for example, I really, really rated, even though it did have some really weird sponsorship going on. It still looked a very nice kit. It had the nice black sleeves on, had the nice Adidas logo going on, just a nice overall kit. This is horrendous. It's actually the same sponsor as the Newcastle one, so whoever designed those kits for that company needs to get sacked, absolutely. It's still got the orange going on. I do like the Wolves badge in itself. The sponsorship, again, is letting it down, as with the Newcastle kit. As I mentioned, the old Wolves kit also had this sponsorship, but there's nothing good about this kit as far as I'm concerned. The Wings sponsor is ugly. We've already shown with Newcastle that they can't actually design kits. It actually looks like a McDonald's in a ball, and again with some Chinese font. And there's just nothing about this kit that I like. I'm just putting down my glasses so I can actually analyse it even further still. Boring, bland, and because of that, 18th place. I'm sorry, Wolves. I'm not sorry, because you should have designed your kit better, but there you go. In 17th place is West Ham United. This is not a football kit, okay? Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt. Mark Noble looks like a tennis instructor in that shirt. Look at my shirt. Perfect collar. Perfect collar. West Ham collar? No. Less of that. I do like the claret and blue colours going on. The Betway sponsor is annoying me a little bit. I feel like the badge, the actual club and Umbro badge are sort of being diminished by the Betway sponsor. Now they say less is more, but sometimes less is just less, and that's all I'm seeing in the Spurs kit. There is barely any design going on here. It doesn't actually look like a football shirt, it just looks like a white top. There's no effort gone into it. I understand going back to some form of simplicity, fine, but you've got to have some effort thrown in there. There's not much else to say about Spurs. It's fine. Sometimes more is more. Next we've got Brentford, and this is their first season in the Premier League, so I would have hoped they'd have gone for some, really sensational sort of design to mark that triumphant entrance into the top flight of English football and the Premier League. And what do they give me? Hollywood Bets. Hollywood Bets is what they give me. I do like stripes on a kit, I'm a fan of the red and white stripes. Unlike the Newcastle one, I think there are enough stripes, but it's very standard. There's not much else going on in the design. Even if you take away the Hollywood Bets sponsorship, it's just red and white stripes. And maybe simplicity is good, but again, I do want some form of design going on. This is 2021, this isn't the Stone Age. You can actually have some design on your kit nowadays. Honestly, it's a good thing that the B logo is actually a logo that I like a lot, because otherwise you'd be even further down this list. And the Hollywood Bets, and what's happening with that star? Can we talk about this? I assume it's a star anyway. It's sort of like lopsided. It's almost, I don't even know what it is. Really weird. But there you go. That's Brentford for you. Disappointment. Hopefully they have a better season than their kit. But that is Brentford, and they are in 15th place. 14th place belongs to Aston Villa. It's another claret and blue side, and there's not much I like about this kit, honestly. The Kazoo logo is appalling. The fact that there is a car where the A is atrocious. I hate that sponsor. It doesn't look like a classic or traditional kit. It looks like an old kit. It looks outdated. I'm just not a fan of these lines that are going on. There's just not enough going on in the sleeves, I think. I think there needs to be a bit more thought and input put into the sleeves, because it's almost like they splash some sort of attempt at design into the middle section with the lines, and the sleeves, they haven't actually done anything with it. So it's a disappointing one from me for Aston Villa. Maybe it would look nicer in person, but I can only base off what I can see. And from one Kazoo to another, we've got Everton up next. And I think they've regressed from last season. Not a fan of whatever is going on in the collar section, or rather the lack of a collar section. There's no distinction there, and I think that would actually help this kit. Like maybe just like a nice simple white collar, potentially just something to differentiate it. There's a little bit of a design going on, but again, it's pretty average, it's pretty basic, just a couple of stripes across the kit, and it's just not tickling my fancy. It's very average, and we are moving more into the average kits than the poor quality kits. I think it's a bit bland. I think it's a bit meh. And speaking of meh, mid-table mediocrity and regressing, Man City are in 12th. The Man City kit is in 12th for me, and Puma once again, or Puma, however you want to pronounce it, has once again disappointed Man City, I think. Puma's got this really weird thing, first of all, of making their kit so unbelievably tight, and I don't really understand why. For example, I have an Italy kit which was designed by Puma, and again, it's just really sticks to you, especially when you're sweating. And I do have this image of Arsenal being, when they were sponsored by Puma, and Oxlade-Chamberlain wearing the shirt. And if you've got pec muscles, and obviously as footballers you tend to have big tits, gosh, you can see your chest, you can see the tits, you can see the pecs with Puma kits. And there's no difference here with the City kit. It is very tight from first viewing anyway. When I saw it in person for one of Man City's friendly games, I thought it was okay. I'm not a huge fan of the white bit that's going down the side though. It just sort of looks a little bit out of place. I'm not a fan of the fact that it then combines into the sleeve of the shirt either. I think had that white been left just on the torso section of the shirt, then maybe would have had a better design. I also don't like how with Puma kits, not only do you have the Puma logo like on the front bit, but they also shove it there, and sometimes even on both sides, and that's what they've done here. They have shoved it on the shoulder as well, so it's almost like an extra bit of mess into the equation. The V-neck, not a huge fan of that. I think there needs to be, if you're going to do a V-neck, I think there needs to be some sort of differentiating factor. It's a huge downgrade on last season's shirt where it was like sort of a nice cracked effect going on with the previous Man City kit, and this, like I said, this is just a huge downgrade. The only good thing going for this kit is the fact that there is the reference to Sergio Aguero, the 9320 in the back section of the shirt. Apart from that, it's very average, it's very standard, and as a Manchester City fan, I am disappointed in it. It's Liverpool's home kit, and it's a good kit. I think it's a fine kit. Again, I say it's a good. I take that back immediately. I still think it's an average kit. But it could have been. The annoying thing for me is this kit could have been so much more. This could have been a really lovely kit, because what I love about this kit, obviously the red. The red is standard. It's a staple of Liverpool FC. That's fine. I love these sort of like light orange stripes going down in a diagonal fashion. Standard Chartered isn't the best sponsor, but it's not too over imposing. It's not too much. There seems to be a little split in the shade down the middle, or maybe that's just that picture I'm looking at. I think that's just that picture I'm looking at, so I take that back. But in general, I do like the sort of ring pattern that's going on around the actual edge of the shirt. But this is the issue with the shirt, guys. You should be able to tell me immediately what is wrong with this shirt. Why the collar and the bit on the sleeves, why orange? Or whatever, is that orange? Yeah, some weird sort of like neon orange colour going on. If that was white, or I don't know what colour, I think white would be best, or grey even, potentially, but let's say white, then this would be a really, really strong kit on this list. But as it is, I think orange clashes terribly with the primary red. Liverpool let down by the collar and sleeves, but still a decent kit. Right, we're halfway through the video now. If you have been enjoying it up until now, do make sure to leave a like on the video. Do make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, then share the channel with someone you know. Coming in 10th place, we're in the big boy kits now. It is Burnley. Now, you don't normally associate Burnley with having some aesthetic kits, you know, claret and blue. Again, there's not too much you can do with that colour combination, historically at least, but I do really like this kit. I love the fact that the Umbro logo is in a light blue colour. They've, I think, done a big improvement on last season where they had that really ugly Chinese sponsor in the middle of the shirt. Now, Spread Exports, is that a good looking sponsor? No, but I do think it's a slightly cleaner, less clunky sponsor than the Chinese one from last year. I know a lot's been made of the sleeves for the Burnley kit, but honestly, it takes itself away from the more traditional sleeves that you might be expecting from Burnley, but I really rate them. I like how they go slightly higher than the Burnley kit from last year. I like the stripes going on. The different shades of blue going on. It's just a really nice kit to me. I love how the shorts also match that blue. And yeah, this is the first kit we've looked at where I've genuinely gone, yes, that is a nice kit. This would be like the first sort of 7.5 kit out of 10, I think. So we're in the good looking kits now, and like I said, I just really like this Burnley kit. Bit of a wild card in 9th place. It's Chelsea's kit. Now, this kit is mad. I don't know what's going on. There's like checkerboards on the left hand side. It then diverts from halfway across the Chelsea badge into triangle zigzags, and then those zigzags sort of warp away into smaller zigzags, sort of closer you get to the middle, which is a nice 3 logo. I do like the 3 sponsor. I think it's like a very clean, nice looking funky sponsor. I do think it matches the funkiness of this kit. And then on the other side of the Chelsea kit, the zigzags sort of demorph and they become more uniform, and I really like that. It's sort of all over the place, so that's preventing it from being a true contender, but I think the madness of it is really appealing to me. I also like the fact that the Nike logo is gold as well. Just like little touches like that really help. It's a strong kit, it's 9th place, and I really like it, and I like how bold they've been. I'm impressed. Well done, Chelsea. Just ahead of Chelsea, it's their London rival, Arsenal. Now, potentially, I'm ranking this kit too low down the list. I know this kit has been getting a lot of love, and I am a very big admirer of Arsenal's home kits. I love the red and white colours. It doesn't strike me immediately as an Arsenal shirt, honestly, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe, as I said, I applauded Chelsea for pushing the boat out earlier, and fair enough. And this is still a nice kit. Like I said, I do have it ranked 8th, not the best for me. Right, we're getting into some properly nice kits now. 7th place, I've got Leeds United's kit. It just looks very traditional and very classic to me. I love these little yellow lines on the shoulders. The Leeds badge is one of my favourite badges. Adidas logo on it is probably one of my favourite kit sponsors as well. I'm not a fan of the main front shirt sponsor there, but other than that, I just love the colours that are going on. I love the white and the gold, or the yellow, whatever you want to call it, combining and contrasting. It's a quite simplistic kit, but I think in this case, less is more. They've been able to pull that off well. And I do just think it's a very smart looking kit, and I do really rate it, even though it's quite simplistic, minimalistic. My 6th place goes to Southampton. This is a very interesting kit, potentially a bit controversial. I love the stripes. As I've alluded to before, I love a kit with stripes. I just think it looks very traditional. What I love about the Southampton kit is they've maintained the correct level of stripes, unlike Newcastle United from earlier. But what they've also done is they've added a slight, very slight detail into the stripes. These downward pointing arrows incorporated into the stripes on the white, and then upward pointing arrows incorporated into the red stripes, leading into potentially what ruins the kit for me. Not ruins, but takes away from the kit. Is this huge, like almost printed on black collar going on. If that was slightly smaller, this kit would probably be my top 3, honestly. I just think the collar's a little bit too out there. I think they probably could have ended, because it's sort of like a big step to go for these sort of weird little pointy arrows going on. So I think had the collar been slightly reeled in a little bit, then we could talk about this potentially being even higher on the list. I do love the design of the Southampton badge. I think it's gorgeous. Sportsbet.io, not the most aesthetic shirt sponsor, so that is sort of going against it, but it's not detracting totally from the kit. So I think it deserves its place on this list, and I think it's a very nice looking kit. We've got more stripes in the next kit. It's Brighton's home kit. I don't know what it is about this kit, because again, it is relatively minimalistic. There's not too much going on in terms of the design, but they've just got it spot on, I think. I think it's a massive improvement on last season's design. They've increased the width of the stripes. So last season it was blue and these very thin stripes going on. This is what I want to see from Brighton. Gorgeous. Again, the gold Nike tick is really doing it for me. The American Express logo, actually, it works quite well because they've left this sort of like white space for it. I think that actually does work quite well. Again, like it doesn't, even though it is actually breaking up the lines, it doesn't feel like it's in the way. It doesn't feel like it's overbearing in any way. Whereas you look at last season's kit when they had the blue text box for the American Express logo, and it did just sort of look like it had been, plastered on there, whereas it looks like this was thought about, designed carefully. The fact that we've got a different colour blue coming into the font with a slightly different light blue contrasting with the darker blue. I also love the simplicity of the Brighton badge. It's just a seagull, brilliant, even though I hate seagulls in real life. I like them on a Brighton kit. And yeah, this to me, it reminds me, if the stripes were red, it would really remind me of those classics or almost Bayern Munich kits. It just looks like an instant classic. Like, take away the American Express logo and just continue the stripes, it just looks like it would be a classic kit from that era of a few decades ago, before the era of front sponsors and in those glory years of shirts. It's just gorgeous, honestly. And if I was a Brighton fan, I would 100% be running out to go get this, because this is a lovely kit. We're in the top 4 now, and in 4th place I've got another team with stripes, although it is horizontal stripes rather than vertical. It's Watford. Now, you could say this is too high because there is a huge elephant in the room, and that elephant is in the form of Stake.com. Well, I have no idea what Stake.com is, and I don't really care about Stake.com, and I can't be bothered looking up what it is. All I know is that it is not ruining this shirt, but it is denying this shirt the chance to get the absolute #1 spot on this list. Because if that sponsor was anything even remotely better, then this would by far and away be the best kit in the Premier League next season. Unfortunately, Stick.com is there, so I do have to put it in 4th place. But let's talk about the rest of the shirt. So that's the negative for the kit. I'm also not too sold on the paw print kit sponsor. It looks a bit weird. But let's talk about what this kit does right. Everything else. The colours, gorgeous. Very bee-like, which is interesting because their badge is a moose or an elk, so bit of a weird one, but I tell you what, it works. It's not a solid black line, it's a solid black, but then it fades into another black, and that just really works for me. The collar, unlike the Southampton one, there's not too much over design going on. It's just the right level of design, a black collar with a yellow stroke outline, or maybe even a gold outline, I'm not sure. But this kit, I think, is just really, really nice. It really does it for me. The contrast between the red of the badge and the yellow of the kit, like I said, just the stripes, it just looks really smart. It's the top 3. Who gets the bronze medal? Well, it's the final newly promoted side. It's Norwich City. This kit is gorgeous, I think. This J, I don't think I've ever seen this J logo before. I don't know who does it. That logo in itself is much prettier than Adidas, Nike, Hummel, whoever. So that's lovely. The fact that it's in green as well, to contrast with the yellow and also incorporating Norwich's colours, great touch. The Norwich badge is a bit of a weird badge, yeah, but the green and yellow does contrast well in the badge. The Lotus front shirt sponsor is lovely. The actual badge itself, I believe, is normally supposed to be gold, but Lotus has backed away. They've allowed the design to have some creative freedom, and that has meant that there's no like block gold colour in the middle, or whatever the Lotus colour normally is, because I'm pretty sure it isn't a bright yellow. So it means that there's just a black outline. It allows the yellow of the shirt to just carry over across, and you've got just like a very subtle Lotus sponsorship, so that doesn't take away from the shirt at all. The sleeves are unbelievable. I really, really like them. I've talked about the nice contrast between the green and the yellow, but just the way the stripes go diagonally, they curve in, and it's just really smart to me. Over here on the shoulder area, they've gone for green as well. It's just really subtle touches with a little gold ring going around the back, both sides, just really bringing the whole kit together. And I think this 100% deserves to be in 3rd place, the bronze medal. It's just a gorgeous kit. Coming in at number 2, it's Manchester United. Let's get this out of the way. Team viewer, I don't like. If it was just the font, wouldn't have an issue. I really don't like the square and the arrow inside it. I think it looks a bit dumb. But that does not detract from the beauty that is this shirt. It's very traditional. It's very classic, very retro. The white collar just is... It's so simple, and yet it's so beautiful. That white collar. Had the Liverpool kit just done that, white collar, then it'll be fine. And again, had the Liverpool kit done white on the sleeves, as this United kit has done, it would be potentially nearly to this level. But United have taken the simplistic approach. There are a few lines down the middle, just so it's not just like one big block of red, so there is different bit of design going on. The white, similar to the Leeds one with their yellow and gold, going from the collar down the shoulder, just really works. And I just can't get over how really nice this kit is. Adidas makes some of the nicest kits out there. Even though the TeamViewer logo I'm not a fan of, at least it is white, and at least it doesn't detract too much away from the overall kit. I prefer it much more to the Chevrolet logo of previous years, when it was basically just like, you know, a huge Chevrolet badge for me that just took too much away from the kit. Manchester United have had a very good year in terms of kits, let's just say that, because their away kit as well is gorgeous. And we end on what I think is the best home kit for the Premier League season 2021-2022. We've looked at some pretty woeful kits, we've looked at some meh kits, and we're now in the elite tier, the elite tier. The last few have been genuinely lovely. And for me, this is the loveliest of them all. This is the most aesthetic, the best looking, just the most jaw-dropping kit, home kit anyway, that the Premier League will be featuring next season. It's Leicester City. This is just lovely. They've done the correct thing Man United did and the opposite of what Liverpool did in respect of the collar and the sleeves. They kept it simple. They made it white, and they actually, Leicester added a little extra. And maybe this is what Liverpool could have done if they wanted to really incorporate that orange into the collar, into the sleeves, because there is a little gold sort of like trim and stroke around the collar and around the sleeves of the white. It just adds that little bit of extra detail that you just love to see. I think I've only just noticed that now actually, but the more you look at this kit, the more you can appreciate the tiny little designs that go into it. Again, as with the United kit, the white from the collar goes down into some lines down the rest of the shoulder. Even the sleeve sponsor, you might say it's a bit garish, it's a bit out there, but it's a dragon. That's pretty cool. The Leicester badge, I do appreciate the Leicester badge. Only thing potentially going against this kit is the fact that FBS Trade Online is a bit clunky. It doesn't add, there's no actual design in that logo, unlike some of the other logos we've looked at, like the 3-1 on the Chelsea shirt, for example. That just looked like it worked. This does look like it's sort of just been, you know, plucked and popped onto the Leicester shirt without too much thought going into it. But let's talk about my absolute favourite thing about the shirt. I've already talked about the gold trim, which is my second favourite thing. My main favourite thing about the shirt is the subtle and yet incredibly abstract detail of the blue, almost like waterworks. The you know, like an oil painting going on with the. I'm just moving my shade so I can see it even more in its glory. It looks like crashing waves. It's because I love abstract, and it just looks gorgeous. It does look like a painting. It looks like a painting of the ocean. Like I say, with the waves crashing against each other, the different shades of blue. It's very subtle. It's very, you could say it's quite minimalistic, but at the same time, there's so much design and thought going into that, I think. And all of it just combines together, and it produces this gorgeous kit that Leicester are lucky to be able to wear next season. It's very, it's just, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm liking it. They've gone bold, they've done something different, and I think it's absolutely paid off. That is the best kit that the Premier League will see next season. But let me know what your favourite kit is, and let me know what your least favourite kit is. At the end of the day, aesthetics, especially in terms of fashion and football kits, are all about subjectivity and opinion. One person's taste can be totally different to another person's taste, so realistically there is no right or wrong answer here, but some of those kits were just atrocious, let's be honest. Eat, yeet, skeet, delete. Have a lovely day.